Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. Welcome to this brand new day. A brand new day. Yay! One of the reasons that I also find allergies and the way my voice sounds to me to be so irritating is normally when speaking, you don't really have to do anything. It's like using your voice is like just flipping a switch on the wall. It's either you're talking or you're not. You can just flip it off and turn it on, and that's easy. My big irritation point is using my voice box is I have to not flip a switch, I have to flip a switch. But I gotta lean into it and push because of all the junk and everything that's just going on with all the pollen. My voice box doesn't want to work. And so I gotta lean into it. And then there's a video of this fellow who made up a very odd musical instrument, but he cranks it up with a great big crank, and then all these various cables, that's the word, releases all of these steel balls on tracks that fall onto various things to make noises. And then he's got a guitar that he can just press the things on with his fingers, the strings, and it makes noise, but it's a part of the machine. But he has to crank it to keep it going. That's the way I feel with my voice. Instead of flick a switch, fire and forget, and then, I'm talking, I have to push the switch, and then I have to keep leaning on it to keep my voice going, and it wants to reset. So that's one of the biggest reasons that I get irritated, and so I talk about it. Probably more than I should. Just because, I know my voice, to everyone that's not me, maybe sounds 25% bad, but 75% fine. But, past that as well, one of the reasons I'm so upset is, not upset, irate, is yesterday. It was raining all day. Raining. So I left late. It was like 8 o'clock when I finally went out walkies. I had been planning on walking to Walmart, but then it was so late that if I walked to Walmart, it'd be like 11 o'clock when I got back. So I just did a small walk around town, did extra because I had been planning on walking to Walmart, but I changed my mind on the way, so I didn't make the big loop through southern Shelton. I didn't have that extra mile. So I did a lot of extra walking downtown. But it was raining, and so the night was cool. And when I went to bed, I didn't turn on the fans to high because I didn't want to freeze to death, but I need moving air over my legs so that I don't overheat, so that my legs don't cramp. Well, last night I flipped from my right side onto my left side, and I have to be careful sometimes. I have to be careful. My legs will cramp. And last night it's not that, I guess it's like the hamstring, but it didn't go from like my upper thigh. It was from my mid thigh down to my heels. That all the way through my knees. That part of it was cramping up, and so both legs I had to struggle to keep from just cramping up massively, and worked with that. But I was overheating, and when I woke up at finally 4 o'clock, I was just awake and angry because I was awake, because it was 4 o'clock. Everything was a mess, and I don't know how it happened because I don't move when I sleep, unless last night after 20 some odd years, I finally started moving again. Because my pillow was even sideways, and I have a square pillow. It is a memory foam pillow, and it's got a dip in it, and I have to put my head on a side where it's raised up high, and that was sideways, and it was just, everything was a mess. I was overheating. I've been up since 4:30. Yay. So, I am tired. I'm irate because I'm tired and awake. Life is life. And because I have to push, and I can feel it even if you can't hear it. the occasional attempt to shake some of that stuff off. I think I just made it worse, to be honest. Okay, let me check over here on my list to see what exactly I have. Not a whole lot of things that are actually intelligent. I tried to think yesterday. One of the things with, well, everything was late. I'm having issues with, because I've never been able to develop a work habit or study habits or any habits beyond just really, really simple and basic. Like one of the habits I've developed to add form and structure to my life was making videos. I mean, that wasn't why I formed it. That's why I do what I do right now, because without making videos, I have no form and structure to my life. My life is otherwise formless and structureless, and that's, I need habit and routine and such in my life. So I use making YouTube videos to provide form and structure to an otherwise formless and structureless life. So there we go with that. But let's see if I can keep figuring out what I was talking about. Because of that, I haven't really developed anything great. No real work habits yet. I talked yesterday about how I want to do some things. I have not yet been able to do that. Also, I had some falling asleep issues yesterday during the daytime, which life is life, though. Life is life. Hey, yeah. And then you can't get mad at yourself. Once again, last night, I started to get upset at myself because I have not yet developed any new habits, work habits, to take advantage of my ability to concentrate and focus and thus be able to remember and thus be able to think. I haven't been able to do that yet. And then I'm like going, oh gosh, maybe I am just lazy after all. But then it's like, wait a minute. Number one, beating yourself up as an attempt to make yourself change a habit isn't going to do that. Take a look at your life. Every time you do something dumb, if you beat yourself up for it, what does that change? All you've done is make yourself feel bad, and the habit hasn't changed. Habits take a good 3 weeks to change, and they take constant work to change or create. So you have to work at them. And beating yourself up for it is only going to hurt your feelings. And it doesn't change anything, just sets you up to feel bad the next time. And that's what I was doing. Beating myself up for... That was interesting. Beating myself up for not developing study and work habits after never having been able to develop them. That's just being mad at myself for, I've been one-legged all my life in a wheelchair. Now all of a sudden somebody threw a prosthetic at me and said, figure it out, you've got to race in 5 minutes. Okay, I never had to walk. Now I've got a leg and I've got to figure out how it works. I've got to figure out how to do this thing I've never been able to do before. But the race is right now. So I can't beat myself up for that. And if you are in the same situation, please remember that. Beating yourself up, negative reinforcement does not work. In fact, it can just reinforce the bad habit. So be positive and work on it that way. Remember, changes take time. 3 weeks to consciously make a habit. 3 weeks to consciously break a habit. When you pick up a bad habit, it's not because you've done it once or twice. It's because you've been doing it without realizing it for 3 weeks. So, thumbs up for that. Also on my list, of course, there's a thing that I watched a video on food and trash food and the white trash food. And while I've got a whole lot that I want to talk about that, because if you take a look at it, think of what trash food is. Think about what trash food is in your life, and think about the kind of food, that what type of people eat that kind of food. And if you take a look at what trash food is, white trash food is, it's stuff that you can buy a lot of because you need to make your dollar stretch. And it has a long shelf life, so you can store it until your next payday. And it's got a lot of salt, fat, and sugar in it. Yeah, so it tastes good. What is white trash? What is trash food? Poor people food. Pretty much every food that you can think of as white trash food is just poor people food. And the United States of America, the US of A, hates poor people. Why else would just demonizing poor people right there for the food that they eat? Food that they can't change. Talking about how lobsters used to be they couldn't get rid of lobsters. They couldn't change it. They fed lobsters to prisoners, to, at the time, slaves, because it was just garbage. They couldn't get rid of the lobsters, and nobody liked them, so they fed them to poor people. In time, people in tourism came to those places in Maine, ate lobsters, and then wanted to have lobsters when they left, but it's expensive to ship lobsters. And so lobsters were expensive to ship. Who could afford them? Only rich people. And so the view of lobster became, it was a rich person food. And suddenly the food status changed, but the people that ate it, their status didn't. So all of that garbage food that they were being fed that was nutritious and good, they can't eat it anymore. Same thing with all this white trash food. There's been this resurgence in the US of people doing white trash food stuff, but they're not appreciating the food for what it is. It's to go slumming and make fun of those people that, can you imagine, they have to eat like this all the time? Further demonizing. But the thing is, like what you like. Who you are economically means nothing. Like what you like. And it doesn't really much have to do with what I just ranted about. But liking the things that you like is fine. There's nothing wrong with liking what you like. It is good to like what you like. Enjoy what you like. Don't let people gatekeep what you like. Don't let people tell you don't really enjoy what you like because they like what you like too, and you don't like it like they do, so obviously you don't like it right. No, just like what you like. And don't let people say any entertainment that you like is trash. If you enjoy it, it's good. Now, there are some things that are bad. I mean, you shouldn't watch actual things and enjoy them if they're, actually bad for society and people as a whole. Like, don't watch things like, actual murder and enjoy it and stuff like that, or stuff that is informed consent is important in everything. And children are unable to give informed consent. Our brains do not finish developing until we are in our mid-20s. A child, even a teenager, often cannot give. When I say often, I mean the teenager, late teens. The child, not at all, cannot give informed consent. You need experience and a developed brain. But so for that, when you're trying to enjoy things that society says is not a good thing, and it involves children, and I think you hopefully know what I'm talking about, don't do it because that's wrong. Don't enjoy things that are bad. I don't believe in, objective evil, but there are some things that are evil because of the effects they have on people, on society, on the future because of the trauma that they inflict. So, enjoy good things, and even that, again, I enjoy horror, where innocent people are murdered violently. The more, the better. The less they deserve being murdered, the better. if I watch a movie or read a book where hundreds of thousands of innocent people have been murdered horribly and violently, it's like, hey, that's a good start. That's just fiction, and there's nothing wrong with that sort of thing. That sort of thing, when I say bad stuff, I mean stuff that's actively bad, which, again, tomorrow I'm going to have to start talking about another thing again, about the whole 80% and binalities and bell curves and... because when you talk about bad stuff, I mean, everything's in a bell curve, and there's the stuff that you should never do and the stuff that you should always do, and then there's everything in the middle. So, anyway, though, I have opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I am not reading the comments right now. I am just thanking you for having left a comment, and thank you very, very much. Afterward, I'm going to go through, read the comments, thumbs up each one I do, answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow, but until then, you took the time, you expended the calories. Thank you very much. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and even though I studied German for 4 years when I was younger and lived in Germany in the Air Force for 2 years when I was younger, I barely remember any of it at all. So, let's see. And even though I count in American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibro, cannabis use for pain, partially treated ADHD, grief, mourning, and a whole lot more, I'm sometimes lucky that I can remember anything at all, though I'm doing one heck of a lot better than I ever was. ADHD meds are amazing. Paper, thumbs up and thank you. Nora, greatly appreciated. Tommy Nilsson, thumbs up and thank you. Jason Gutierrez, thumbs up and thank you. Tin4 Gaming, the person disagreed with me, but there was no abuse. So, thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Adrian Bryan, thumbs up. Trucker Rob, greatly appreciated. Garbage Mammal, hey, thumbs up for that. And we have Flora Mew, always good to see you in the comments. Indeed, it is a very good thing. Acid Baby, except as a 6 instead of an A. Michael Flint, thumbs up. We have Ava Nightingale, thumbs up and thank you. Jason Dergs, greatly appreciated. We have DVR03, thumbs up, good to see you in the comments. Big T, greatly appreciated. Drifter, thumbs up and thank you. Ruliak, greatly appreciated. Kapaki, always good to see you in the comments. Excalibur, thumbs up and thank you. We have Rayan Khan, thumbs up and thank you, and I hope to start streaming again very soon. Johnny K, greatly appreciated. Cyber Psychonaut, thumbs up. And correlation is not causation. You are correct, and I meant to talk about that today, so hopefully I'll talk about it tomorrow. Johan Johansson, thank you very much. And that is it, 23 people. Now, there were some conversations in the comments, and that's okay too. In fact, it's a great thing. I encourage that. Just everyone has to stay non-abusive. There was one thread that I deleted because it started off abusive, and then the person that started that way continued and got worse, so it was like, no. Abuse is gone. You can disagree violently, but as long as you're not abusive, fine. Thank you very much. It is a good thing. And if you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And I have a fly, at least one in here from my open window, so if you see one flitting about, my apologies. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money through the patronage, I have a PayPal link down below. If you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, hopefully I've got my Amazon wish list link updated to have things like reptile sand and hamster food and hamster bedding and cat food and hopefully a pair of shoes. And do not feel obligated to even look at it. I do not feel entitled to you even looking at it. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, do not ever feel bad that you do not or cannot, because I take all good wishes, I deposit them in the bank of my heart, and I draw interest on that, so thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, a definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Thumbs up and thank you very much. Well, hokey smokes, it's what, is it Saturday today? It is Saturday on the day of my recording. I've got a video I just need to edit and then render, so there's not a lot I actually need to do because it's a non-business day, and most of the things that I have to do require people to actually be at telephones. So I'm going to be taking it easy today. Hopefully you're going to take it easy today, and if you have to go out, whether or not you have been vaccinated, wearing a mask is actually a good idea. When I'm out in the store and I see people wandering toward me, slack-lipped, wet-mouthed, and thick breathing, I'm glad I've got my mask to cover my slack lips and wet mouth and my thick breathing. I'm not going to put people down for breathing. We are designed through evolution to do what we do, which involves blasting particles everywhere. It's just that viruses take advantage of that. So I wear a mask. It's a good idea. I haven't had a cold in the last year. Try to be vaccinated, and if you have to go out, maintain your social distancing. If you can, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, and hey, like I say, seek creativity, seek positivity. I should have put another seek there, and try to stay centered. It is a very good thing. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a definite thumbs up.
Again, not fair. I can't shoot electrical bolts out of my eyes. This is